Swinging a ground ball, stabbed by Folk. He has it. He underhands to first, and the Boston Red Sox are the world champions for the first time in 86 years.
Together they have, and together they stand alone on top of the mountain for now. And once again, the Boston Celtics stand alone for all time. It is banner 18.
No icing. For the first time in 39 years, the Boston Bruins have won the Stanley Cup.
And a title for the Patriots!
I can't believe it!
They have completed the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history.
Good morning, listeners. Welcome into episode 86 of a New Era podcast. My name is Hanson, better known as Fryddy online, and I am joined here by my dad and co-host, the OG Frid. Dad, would you like to say hello to the listeners this morning?
Listeners, welcome to your first Monday after some football. How does it feel?
Oh, feels great, doesn't it? Although it's just a taste.
It was abbreviated
just a little.
Yeah, a little.
It's just a little bit on there. It's just a taste. It was just the appetizer.
Yeah.
The first course. And then this weekend we get the full 5-course meal.
Don't get me wrong. This, week 0, always having the Shamrock series going. But my God, we got to do something about either A, the field conditions. I know you're playing on a soccer pitch, but it is grass. And I know most of these kids probably are going to that turf thing. I'm not saying it's artificial turf because I think it's a mixture of some real and synthetic stuff. But all I heard from the coaches were sloppy field. I was listening to one of my favorite part of my other podcast, Pardon My Take. And there was a whole thing on them just being not opponents, regular season games you can play overseas in the NFL, but there was a big thing where Super Bowl and Hank is all on the Super Bowl going to be over in London. And yeah, I mean, even the field, not only, their whole thing was about the time, but the fields over there, and I know the NFL and obviously college football to some point, I'm sure, went ahead and took a look. But if you are in these weather situations where it rains over there like 90% of the time, but it rains here and you have these same conditions, I don't know, just all this crap about the field conditions. Do your research, get the right feet, the cleats. I don't know. I think more or less
just prepare for it better. Just in your game planning, like
I think more or less Iowa State, Kansas State game, which yes, I did say Iowa State, got that one. Did not win my parlay this weekend, but came close. Well, 4-2 out of 5-2 out of the 7-leg parlay. Not bad. But I think a lot of it probably has to do with Kansas State thinking, hey, we're a little bit better. And oh shit, we've just been playing each other. And yeah, I don't think we're as good as we were advertised.
I don't think it was that. I think Kansas State, they had fucking, what is his name? Oh my God, this is going to bug me because I was just thinking about this.
Avery?
Nope. Hold on. Let me find it. Dylan Edwards. They're supposed to be star running back who was, second fiddle to DJ Giddens last year. Was set up for a potentially big game here and a lot of usage. I know I had him in some parlays and wanted to see him go crazy. And because of these field conditions and the fog too, this was a whole thing at the start of the game. A lot of fog, and I don't think it was fireworks or something like that, but it was still like foggy in the air because of stuff that was happening pre-game. And on the first punt of the game from Iowa State, Dylan Edwards is back there. He muffs the punt, and it looked like an easy one. I was confused about what happened. Comes off the field, gets reported that, he's going back to the locker room. And then you get to halftime. They ask coach, and he said, yes, he will be out for the rest of this game. Yes, may have something to do a little bit with the field conditions and the weather and the fog and all those factors together, but you get him out of there, and that is a dynamic player in that Kansas State offense. And up until about 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, they were still just trying to find their identity without him. They could not really get anything moving. Avery just looked very just off back there. He didn't look like he wanted to trust his weapons fully, and I think that comes with not having the safety blanket and Edwards on the field anymore. Now, Kansas State did have some big punches at the end. Once Avery finally got his feet under him and started looking for the deep ball, there were a couple very nice long completions that turned into touchdowns and kept them in this game just enough. But ultimately, defense couldn't hold Iowa State as they were driving at the end, and then allowed them to kneel it out. And that's how we ended the first game of the college football season and the first ranked game of the college football season. I don't think it says a lot about Iowa State. I think, what's that? Their quarterback, Rocco Beck. I think he's good. I don't think we need to start hyping up like fucking. I heard people talking about like, oh, what about Dark Horse Heisman? I don't think we're to that level yet.
Yeah, no.
But Iowa State is a team that in a Big 12 conference that's kind of up in the air, could make a run, to the Big 12 championship, could potentially end up seeing this team again near the end of the year. Kansas State, I think just the big question after this week is Dylan Edwards' health and what's going to come from that. I don't know when they play next. They play in 5 days against North Dakota at home. Probably wouldn't need Edwards really for this game. But you got to see how the team bounces back without him, and see if they can just move the ball a little better. And being back at home, where do they play? Manhattan, Kansas?
Yeah.
Being back in Manhattan, see if, the vibes come back to them and they can bounce back.
Hey, I'm going to make this prediction because we saw it last year with Florida State losing unexpectedly.
No, they're not going like 2-10.
If they lose to North Dakota, and North Dakota is a prominent FBS program.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but there's
if
levels.
You don't
to this
have.
shit.
Well, yeah, but if you don't have your,
you got to keep in mind.
Back, hey,
but what
I'm going to protect it.
But look, what happened? The difference between it is there's DJ Ukulele, and then there's Avery Johnson all the way up here. DJ was never taking that Florida State team to be that great. Now, can Avery put this team on his back too? I don't think so. But there is definitely a humongous gap between the two of them and the dysfunction that was happening in Florida State and just the whole shit team that it was. That's not the same case for Kansas State. But yes, depending on how long Edwards is gone, this could seriously derail Kansas State's hopes of being able to play in the Big 12 championship. You don't want to start off 0-1, and you definitely don't want to start off 0-1 in conference. It just so happens that you were scheduled against one of them. So from here on out until about like week 6, you got to be tip-top shape if you're the Kansas State Wildcats to bounce back from this one and stay in the hunt. What else do we have going on there? We got UNLV, Idaho State. I think I was horrible this week. I think I might have went fucking 1-4 on everything I picked here. I had the under in this game. I think it barely went over because of Idaho State being able to actually put up a lot more offense than I envisioned. 38-31 win for UNLV. I know we did say, though, both of us, we don't feel good taking a 24-point spread at any point or whatever it was. So, but I didn't feel good taking Idaho State. They did end up covering. Go down to the next one, Kansas 31-7 over Fresno State. You were on that one. You ended up flipping onto Kansas spread, and that ended up being correct. I was still on board that Fresno would be able to keep that within 13.5, let alone 17.5, which I had them in my parlay for on an alternate spread, and still that didn't cover. Moving down to the next one, you got Western Kentucky, Sam Houston. Again, a game that we were both on the under for. Sam Houston just put up kind of the same situation as Idaho State, put up more points than we expected them to. Thought that they were going to dictate the space a little bit more, but Western Kentucky did what Western Kentucky does and just lights up the scoreboard and allowed Sam Houston to get back on this field a couple times and just couldn't stop them. So they win that 41-24. And then to cap off week 0, this is the one that we were both aligned with here, which was Hawaii. A little closer than you wanted it to be, 23-20 Hawaii. However, I really had no doubt that they were still going to pull this one out. I don't believe in Stanford. I made that very clear last week. And the Rainbow Warriors start off 1-0 to end week 0. Outside of the Kansas State, do you have anything else to say about some of these other teams, any of the teams that impressed you, or are you just really chalking this up to week 0? Congratulations to the teams that won, and we'll move on to week 1.
Well, we'll get into this later because we're not doing a starting 5. We're going to end up doing similar to the College World Series. We're going to do a snake draft, but there's a team out there in the group of 5 that played this week that received some points, but because of what they did this week against what we thought was a superior or less superior team.
You're saying UNLV.
I'm saying UNLV.
Yeah. All right, let's look at week 1. I don't know how I want to do this. Yes, I do. I'm just going to move through these, and we're not going every game. We'll go through most top 25, but then some of them that don't have any ranked teams, we'll go through too. We'll start on Thursday. All right, because that is when week 1 kind of officially begins for us, as we've got a ton of games Thursday night. The first one that we'll look at starting at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time in Tampa, Florida. You got the group of 5 representative in the college football playoff last year, Boise State, number 25, facing off against University of South Florida. Boise State on the spread at 6.5 points, the favorite. The total is set at 63.5. Dad, where are you leaning in this first game of week 1?
I mean, 6.5. They're on the road, but I'm still going to take Boise State and the points.
I agree. I know. I think I said last week that Genty was a lot of their engine and everything, but I still think their quarterback in Maddox. That was him, right?
Sure.
You don't know.
I haven't looked.
Fuck. I don't know why I'm asking you. I think that's their quarterbacks. And like he had some bright moments last year.
Yeah.
And you gotta think everybody knows. Everybody outside of the Boise State program knows, but I'm sure everybody inside the Boise State program knows too. This whole offseason was, hey, we got no more Genty. How do we move the offense around everybody else? That was the biggest focus. I trust in this team to be able to do it enough. I don't believe in USF that much. I don't think they have that big of a home field advantage or anything. I mean, God forbid they are playing in the Bucs Stadium. This is not like a USF campus stadium too. So, no, I think Boise State comes out here. They see that 25 by their name. They want to keep it for at least 1 week. They do win this by at least a touchdown. So give me Boise State minus 6.5. Over under wise, I've been so off on these, so I'll just say under, and it probably goes over.
I think it goes under only because it's going to be like a managed game in the passing game with Boise State, short dump offs kind of thing. And obviously I don't think South Florida is going to produce anything, but I think it's going to be in terms of then the speed of play. Obviously, it's not a running game, but the clock is going to continue because of short passes, short completions. It's just not going to have enough time for South Florida to come back. But I don't think Boise's going to put up enough points to be able to do that over. So, yeah, it's an under game all day long.
I like it. Moving on to an hour and a half afterwards. My favorite game of the week so far, at least. Well, there's a good amount of games on Saturday, but until we get there, you got the East Carolina Pirates, you got the North Carolina State Wolfpack in a rematch of last year's Military Bowl, which ended very chippy between two in-state rivals. This one will be taking place in Raleigh at Carter Finley Stadium. The Wolfpack favored by 12 points somehow.
Wow.
And the total sitting at 60.5. I'll start off with this one, and I'm going to say, give me all of the Pirates plus 12. And actually, fuck it, keep the points at the door. Give me the Pirates money line. They have had this game circled all offseason. I can tell you that. They know that, honestly, since they stepped off the field at the Military Bowl and everything that happened there and all the shit talk that happened leading up to it between these two teams and how NC State just believes they are so much more superior to this team that really, if you think about it and look at last year's game, which had a lot of the guys that we're going to see on Thursday night on that field as well, these teams are not separated by as much as State feels like. And definitely not 12 points. I don't care about the home field advantage. Caden Hauser going to go out here and show why I do believe he could be a legitimate dark horse contender to be in the Heisman conversation throughout this year. I envision 4 touchdown passes from him. I think they're going to be throwing it a good amount. And I like the Pirates. I can't come on here and say anything else. So I'm going to take the Pirates money line. I'm taking the Pirates spread. And I will be taking the under in this game as well. I don't think 60.5. I mean, these two teams, I think it was 26-24 in the Military Bowl last year. So that gets you right to 50 points. I think we see somewhere around that too. I think I had 31-28, which brings you to 59 points, just under. I got 31-28 Pirates.
Obviously, it's all about what NC State's quarterback can do. I am hoping that he's not going to feel comfortable in the pocket because of the pressure from the Pirates' interior defense. I think the kid throws 2 picks. The State is going to come back in the 4th to make it close. But definitely 12 points. No, take ECU and the points. And I'm going to say a 27-24 final.
For the Pirates?
For the Pirates.
Hell yeah. There we go. Last one I want to bring up on Thursday here. This one's going over at 9 o'clock in Kansas City at Arrowhead Stadium. You've got the Nebraska Cornhuskers against the Cincinnati Bearcats. You've got Nebraska that is favored by 6.5 points. Your total is set at 54.5. Dad, how do you think that Dylan Raiola and the Cornhuskers start off their year?
I think Dylan is going to try some of his Patrick Mahomes magic in that stadium, and I take Nebraska and those points. I think they'll win by 10.
I like it. Yeah, I'm taking them. I'm taking them on the spread as well. The college football schedulers knew what they were doing, putting him in Arrowhead with all this talk about him wanting to be Mahomes and doing all this. I think it's kind of corny, but regardless, I think it's going to motivate him to play one of the best games we've seen out of him so far. Cincinnati, not a terrible team, but I just don't think that they have what it takes to just defeat the devil magic that's going to come out of Dylan Raiola here in the house that Patrick Mahomes built.
Yeah.
So yeah, give me the Cornhuskers by 6.5, by 10, whatever it may be. And I'll go I'll go over in this one. I think Cincinnati puts up enough, and Nebraska might put up 35. Then you just need 25 by Cincinnati or whatever it is. I can see that happening. All right, so that's all of Thursday. Friday, I'm looking through here, and we'll start with this one. Duke's Mayo Classic in Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. You got App State Mountaineers going up against the Charlotte 49ers, UNC Charlotte 49ers. App State favored by 6.5 points. Over-under is set at 51.5. Where are you leaning on this one, Dad?
This has to be probably the least out of this Duke Mayo bowl game, the least showcased event that they've ever had. I guess none of the head coaches want to be dumped in Mayo anymore.
Yeah.
But this is an App State game through and through.
Yeah. Charlotte's fucking terrible. They are so bad. This looks about as bad as the NC State minus 12.5 line, because I honestly think that App State should be favored by 10 plus going into this game. So give me App State. They should run all over Charlotte. And I'll probably take the over here too, because I think App State themselves could put up 40 here, and you just need 13, 14 points or whatever out of Charlotte. I think you probably get that on some garbage time points. But Mountaineers roll in this one. We got two more that I want to go over here on Friday. Some good games. 8 o'clock on Fox. You got Auburn versus Baylor in Waco, Texas, at home of the home of the Bears. You got the Tigers that are favored by 2.5 points. The total is set at 57.5. Where are you leaning on this one?
I think what's going to happen, I mean, because it's at home, and what did you say the spread was?
Auburn minus 2.5.
So it's almost a pick 'em, virtually. But I think Baylor will cover. Definitely take Baylor, and I will still say, though, an under.
Yeah, I like the under. I really don't know where to stand here. So because of that, I think I'll go with you here too and take the home team. 2.5 points. I think Baylor could win this maybe by a field goal.
Yeah.
So they just beat the spread outright. Yeah, they win the game outright. I don't know how much to believe in this Auburn team. They had a pretty down year last year, if I'm remembering correctly, and I'm sure the fans and everything will come out for Baylor on Friday night. So give me the home team to cover, and give me. Do you say the under?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me the under. 24-21. Last one on Friday that we want to cover here. Georgia Tech in Boulder, Colorado, against Colorado. Deion Sanders' team now without Shedeur, but they do have this 5-star freshman quarterback. I forgot his freaking name. Caden Salter. Is that it potentially? I don't know where. Yeah, Caden Salter is not who I was thinking of, but he is starting, I believe. Julian Lewis was the freshman that I was thinking of. But regardless, whoever's there playing quarterback for the Buffaloes on Friday night, they are underdogs by 4 points at home to Georgia Tech. Over-under is set at 54.5. Where are you leaning on this one, Dan?
This should be a year. A lot of people are hyped on Georgia Tech, especially after their production last year. But you know what? I'm going to say some Deion magic will continue. Want to prove that he can do it without his sons. And I will take Colorado to cover and win outright.
I'm with you too. I've seen a lot of people very high on Georgia Tech, and I was a little high on Georgia Tech going into this year until I started seeing how high everybody else was on them. At one point last week, I saw somebody predict Georgia Tech for 11-1, and a berth to the ACC championship. And that's when I started thinking, guys, we got to pump the brakes on Georgia Tech. That's a little too much love for this team. They might be good, but I don't know if they're going to be that good. Yes, give me Colorado at home. You got to travel over there. Yes, I see a little Dion magic. I just see this as being a little bit of a trap line for people. They're going to say, oh, no Shador, only 4 points. Give me the Yellow Jackets. No, I'll take the Buffaloes to win this outright, cover the spread, and we'll go over in this game. I do feel like Georgia Tech is going to push that pace a little bit, and I think Colorado is going to be able to do the same. All right. On to Saturday, our first actual Saturday with a full slate. And we start off Saturday with what could end up being game of the year at 12 o'clock noon in Columbus, Ohio, at Ohio Stadium. A rematch of, I think this was semifinals or quarterfinals?
Semifinals.
I don't know. Semifinals of the college football playoffs last year. We got number 1 Texas going into Ohio Stadium to face off against number 3 Ohio State, who is without their quarterback from last year and Will Howard. Texas brings back Arch Manning, who will hopefully be great for them, a big name in terms of potential Heisman this year. But yet, regardless of all that, Ohio State still getting some love at home, being favored by 1.5 points. Total is set at 47.5. Dad, in the potential game of the year in week 1, where are you starting off Saturday slate?
I am very confident because, again, teasing, we have another segment later on, that Texas will win and go over that point value of 47.5.
Okay. I wish I had a little bit more of an idea of who Ohio State is going to have leading their offense. I have heard nothing about it. And if I had any bit of information on that and any bit of confidence that came out of who is going to be, leading that offense out on the field, I would really say I'm going to go with the defending national champions here. But I don't, and there's a lot of question marks there. I know their defense is still going to be phenomenal, and that's the thing. Which is why I think I'm still going to go under here. I think I'm going to be opposite of you. I think these are still 2 very good veteran-led defensive teams. And I just don't know if they can win this game just defensively. I think Texas is still going to be able to move that ball. Arch has got enough time and got in the games enough times last year that he's not going to feel like he's just getting dropped in the middle of nowhere in this game. It might be very slow to start in the first half. We might see a little bit of fireworks at the end, but it's still not going to go over. Give me Texas as well. They will essentially prove why they are preseason ranked number 1, and this is going to be a big win on their resume to start out the year. On another network at 12 o'clock, we've got Syracuse against the number 24 ranked Tennessee Volunteers in Atlanta, Georgia, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You've got Tennessee favored by 13.5 points with new quarterback Joey Aguilar leading the Vols on the offensive side of the ball. Total is set at 50.5. Dad, where are you going here?
I think Tennessee wins, but 13.5. I mean, Syracuse has some magic in them. I think Tennessee wins, but I'll take Syracuse and the points.
I agree with you. I do think Tennessee wins this, but I could see it being legitimately 13 on the dot. If you were to give me this matchup and this line on week 4, once we've seen Joey lead this team for a couple of weeks, I would probably go with the Vols.
In Tennessee?
In Tennessee, yes, I'd go with the Vols, but in Atlanta, first game for him, leading this team, I mean, the whole team had a bunch of nonsense going around them this offseason because of everything that happened with Nico Iamaleava. I might have got that. I don't know. That's such a hard name to say. A lot of nonsense going on there, a lot of shit going on in their heads. Still think they're a good enough team to pull this out. Might be 10, 13 points. Still going to cover for Syracuse. So give me Cuse on the spread and give me under 50.5 in this game because I do think it ends up being a little closer. The Vols do pull it out. Let's move down the slate here until I see one. Oh, perfect. The number 2 team in the country, Penn State, at home at 3:30 on CBS and Paramount, will be playing Nevada Wolfpack. Penn State is favored by 44 points in week 1 with a total of 57.5 points. Dad, where are you going in this game?
My God. If it was in the 20s, I would take Penn State. I
think we all would, Dad. I think we all would.
I just don't know about 44.5. Yeah, Nevada might only put up 7 to 10 points, if that. But I think what's going to happen is Penn State's big quarterback is going to be sitting out the whole fourth quarter.
Drew Aller.
Yeah, Drew will be out. He'll play till the 3rd, and I just don't see them able to get that spread. It'll be close.
I think you're right on
that.
I
just don't. So got to take Nevada. I'm just
keep in mind
Penn State fans.
Yeah, this Nevada team did go 3-10 last year, 0-7 in the Mountain West, but not a single one of these games did get anywhere close to losing by 44 points. Now, granted, they had nobody on their schedule last year, the caliber that Penn State will be, but I think you're 100% right. I think Drew Rowler only sees 3 quarters of this game, and it could be 45-0 after the 3rd quarter, but I think because of some garbage time and having some of these starters out for Penn State, Nevada does pull something out to backdoor cover. Give me Nevada to cover the 44-point spread and give me the over. I don't think with a 44-point spread, you can go under 57.5 at all. So.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing's happening in this Georgia game, but we're going to skip that one. We're going to go straight on to 3:30 at ABC. Alabama is going to be traveling to Tallahassee to face off against last year's huge disappointment in the Florida State Seminoles. Are they going to be able to rebound this year? That is the biggest question, but it's going to have to start by overcoming a 13.5 point spread that Alabama has over them as the favorite. Total is set at 50.5. Dad, what do you think in this game?
I mean, again, questions at quarterback for Alabama. But yet, this is a big year for their head coach. 13.5, huh? Yeah, I'll take Alabama in that. I think they just cover. I think it'll be 14 points.
I get it. I want, my gut tells me go with Alabama, go with the points here. Do think they come out, and after an up and down year last year for them, for their standards, and in a really disappointing bowl game against Michigan, I think they come out hot. The only thing that is pushing me towards staying with the Seminoles here, not even so much that they're at home, but they did pick up transfer quarterback Tommy Castellanos from Boston College. I was a big fan of his last year. We actually picked him for a couple of our picks last year when we started providing him throughout the college football season. I like Tommy, dynamic athlete. I think he is going into his senior year, very smart quarterback too, although he's a little undersized. I think he is smart enough to be able to avoid bad turnovers and bad plays, just enough to keep them within this 13.5 point spread. I could see Alabama winning by 13 exactly, but give me Florida State to cover. And let's go over 50.5 in this one.
Yeah, over definitely.
Let me look for another one. We're skipping over some of these games till we find. We'll start with this one. 7 o'clock. UTSA is going into College Station to go up against the number 19th ranked Texas A&M Aggies. Texas A&M favored on the spread by 22.5 points. Total is set at 56.5. Dad, where are you going on this one?
Again, to start off the year, that's a lot of points. I know there'll be some voodoo magic going on in Texas A&M and chanting and all that crap. but I'm going to take UTSA to cover.
Yep, I'm right there with you. UTSA to cover, too many points. If this was 20.5 and you could give me 3 touchdowns, I might take Texas A&M. But I think UTSA does just enough to stay within this. If this is like a 42-20 game or something like that, give me the over as well in this. Give me the over as well in this game. But I like the Roadrunners to go into College Station and cover. Now we'll move on to the later part of the slate. We got a couple games here that I just want to absolutely oh, wait, no, I just missed a good one. Yeah, 7:30 ABC. The Tigers versus the Tigers. Number 9 LSU going in to Clemson to face the number 4 ranked Clemson Tigers. Clemson favored by 4 points in this game. Total is set at 57.5. I know I said the 12 o'clock game might be game of the year, but this one might be even more entertaining at night in Clemson. Tigers versus Tigers. Which side of the Tigers are you taking here?
I'm going to take Clemson, definitely. I think it'll be a very close game, but Brian Kelly just won't find a way to get his Tigers across the board. But I will take Clemson to win by 2 field goals.
Okay. I'm with you. I don't know about 2 field goals. The line seems right, but I don't know. I have just never been the biggest believer in Garrett Nussmeier. And I don't think this is the year that we see him, take over or anything like that. Some people are talking about him being a big guy in the Heisman conversation. I'm just not 100% with it. So I am going to take Clemson, the Tigers in orange to take this one. I'll take them to cover. But give me the under 57.5. This should be a great game. I'm looking forward to this one. Okay, and then we'll skip that one. Last one we'll go over here. 11 o'clock on Fox. The last one we'll go over for Saturday. Utah going to visit UCLA in the Rose Bowl. Just talking about the Vols and Nico Imalavea. He will be starting at quarterback for UCLA for their first game of the season. Utah is favored by 6 points, over is set at 50.5. Where are you looking in this game?
I absolutely love Utah as a program. And Zach's brother should do a little bit better this year. But if this game was flipped in locations, I would definitely take Utah. I'm going to stay, though, with UCLA.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I do like Utah a little bit, but I think Nico has to come out here and have a game because of all the things that followed him this offseason, leading him back to the West Coast, to UCLA. I don't know if they win it outright, but I do think they stay within the spread. So give me UCLA to cover and give me over 50.5 in this game. 3 more games to go here that we want to cover in week 1. We got 2 of them on Sunday. First one, 3 o'clock, ESPN, the Aflac kickoff in Atlanta, Georgia, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You got the Virginia Tech Hokies going to play against the South Carolina Gamecocks, ranked number 13th. You got South Carolina favored by 8 points. Total is set at 49.5. What do you like on this one?
Excuse me. What I like probably more than anything is the field crew for Atlanta and how they have to flip now the end zones in a day?
Yeah, probably just over 24 hours.
Yeah, my God, that crew is going to be working. But also love what South Carolina will do this year. And
I love that you say that.
Yeah. And I think 8.5, they can win by 10. They're going to have more fans there. Definitely South Carolina.
You say 10. I say this could be 14. I also love South Carolina going into this year. Lenore Sellers, big on him this year for the Gamecocks and leading their offense. And yeah, at 8 points, I don't think it's going to be enough. This is a team that really hit the ground running in the right direction near the end of last year, and could have made a, backdoor move to get into the college football playoff at the end, depending on, the committee. They just got left out. I know they thought about that all offseason, and that's going to motivate them. I think we see a very good year out of the Gamecocks, South Carolina. So give me them to cover this 8 points. You could put this up to 10.5, 12.5. I'd probably still take them to cover. Give me the over as well. I think they definitely show some offensive fireworks and offensive explosion here over Virginia Tech. Then after this game, we moved to 7:30 p.m. on ABC. Another great game from week 1. You got Notre Dame, the national runner-up from last year, going into Hard Rock Stadium in Miami to face the Miami Hurricanes. Notre Dame is favored by 2.5 points. Total is set at 50.5. I'll start us off here and say I love everything about Notre Dame. Said it last week. I do not like Miami this year. I do not like Carson Beck. This line is calling to me already. Give me all of the Irish in this one.
Absolutely. I think Carson throws a pick 6. Marcus Freeman has his team going. Yeah, definitely Notre Dame.
I'm not going to lie. I think this is a game that could get ugly. Like, I'm thinking very ugly. 37-10 Notre Dame. I think this is a wake-up call for Miami that, hey, you are not a top 10 ranked team to start this year. You might have been in the polls, but on the field, you are not up there with some of the greatest teams. Give me the under as well. I don't think Miami does enough. I think the Notre Dame defense shores up some of the issues that they had in the national championship game, especially in coverage and not allowing any of these big explosive plays like Jeremiah Smith that carved them up in the national championship. So yeah, Notre Dame to cover under 50.5. Book it, take it to the house. Miami is not winning this one. And then the last game of week 1, we had to talk about it because we are a New England sports podcast.
Yeah,
Bill Belichick will be coaching his first game at North Carolina in Chapel Hill at Kenan Stadium. The TCU Horned Frogs are coming into town, and they are favored by 3 points. Actually, total is set at 58.5. Dad, does Bill pick up his first win as a college head coach this week?
absolutely. I think, maybe talent-wise, equal and TCU favorite. They should probably have more talent. I just think that stadium, oh my God, is going to be absolutely electric. And I know they're excited about the UNC quarterback who's healthy and ready to go. I think it's going to be one of those years that, we saw Bill and his team with the Patriots, with Mac Jones. I will take the under, but I will take UNC to win. I think. All
right. Well, I'm completely.
Fight,
Yeah, I'm on the under here. 58.5 is too high. I believe, but I'm on the other side of it. I do not think Bill will be picking up his first win. I'm very much against Carolina this year. Back when this hiring was announced, I got on the season total wins under for North Carolina already. I think I got it at 7.5. I'm very low on them this year. It might just be my hate from Carolina. It might be whatever else it is going to happen. You say this stadium might be electric. This is a wine and cheese fucking college. I don't think it'll be that electric. I hate this team. I hate the school. And so I love everything about TCU -3. I think everybody wants the hype to be there for Bill's first game. But I think the team on the field is just not going to be enough to give the Tar Heels exactly what they're looking for in this first game. Give me TCU. Tar Heels start off 0-1. Bill does not get his first win this week. And that's week 1, Dad. That is week 1 of all the games we really want to go over. Bunch of good games this week. I am so excited to just sit and rot on a couch on Saturday and watch all of this great college football and lose all of my parlays, of course. Started off 0-1 in week 0. Couldn't even make it to week 1, undefeated on parlays. But this is the week that we come back. There's some lines I definitely like here. And I think if you're betting, there's some lines you can take advantage of here. There definitely are. It should be a good week. of college football as we wait. It is the only week now that we have to have college football carry us, as the week after we will have NFL to be able to do it as well. All right, you want to let's do our draft now, and then we'll get into stocks and stuff to end this.
Yeah.
Okay, so like Dad mentioned here, kind of like what we did for the College World Series at the start of the year, we picked we went through a snake draft and both picked our 8 teams that we thought would make the College World Series. We couldn't pick the top 8 or whatever. We had to pick opposite of each other. So we're going to do that as well. 12 teams end up making the college football playoff. So we are going to go 24 deep, and we are going to snake draft our 12 teams that we believe will make it at the end of the year. We will recap this and see how many of the 12 that we picked actually made it. And we'll put our normal gentleman's bet on this, a round of golf. Sound good?
Sounds great. All right. So question, if you take Texas, I can't take Texas, correct?
Correct. Yeah. Just like we did in the College World Series.
Yeah. Okay. But 12. Okay. This is going to be deep.
Yeah. Coin flip to start. See who gets first pick.
Yep.
All right. Wait 1 second. Call it in the air. Go.
Tails.
It is heads. All right. Well, I mean, that's the easiest pick of my life then. I think that's what we were all waiting for 1.01 was going to be Texas. I will be taking Texas, the 1.01, and you have 2 picks here to get your first 2.
Oh, well, that's fine. Then I'm going Penn State and Ohio State.
That's really good too. Penn State, Ohio State. Okay. Now I got 2 here. Give me, we're just going to go down this list. Give me Clemson. And then give me Georgia.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm going to go Notre Dame, and I'll take my first SEC school in South Carolina.
That's, I mean, we both like them.
Yeah.
That's pretty high for South Carolina though.
Yeah, but I want to screw you later.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right. Well, then my first of the 2, give me Oregon out of the Big Ten. Still like them to have a good year. And then give me, this isn't supposed to be where it gets tricky, but it might be. I'm between, you're looking at them too, and it's between these 2 here, but give me LSU.
Okay.
All right, 2 to you.
All right. I'm going to take then Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And I will take I'll take Iowa State.
Okay. I feel like this is a good time to mention this as well, because now we're getting a little deep into here. We discussed this yesterday. Should have said this at the start, but obviously there is one group of 5 team that usually makes it. Could possibly be 2. What we are doing for this one, all of these Power 5 teams or Power 4 teams, however you want to call them, if we get them right, we count it as 1 point. If either of us correctly predicts a group of 5 team that ends up making the college football playoff, that is going to count as 2 points for this, because that is an absolute dart throw. I don't know if we're going to get into group of 5 just yet, but probably by the end of this, we will be. You take Iowa State and Alabama. Let me go back and take then. Give me. Should I believe in them? I don't know, but I'm going to do it anyways. Give me Michigan. Hopefully Bryce Underwood can turn this team around from last year. And then my second one, let's go to College Station down there, Kyle Field. Give me the Texas A&M Aggies.
All right. So I'll go safe pick with Arizona State, And
I don't know how safe that was. I was
Well,
trying
I
to avoid
know.
them. I don't know.
and I'll take Florida.
Fuck. That was next. That was next for me. All right. Give me then. Let's go. Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And let's go. I personally, I think I believe in Joey Aguilar. And I think I like this Tennessee team. Give me the Vols.
Damn. All right. Let's go Ole Miss and an SMU.
Okay. Ole Miss, SMU.
Yeah.
We're getting down to the last couple rounds here. So I'm not going to take them yet, but let's go. You know what? I just said I'm not that high on them. But in an ACC conference where I really don't know who else I believe in, I think they might end up being one of them. Give me Georgia Tech here at 10.02. If they happen to be as good as everybody's saying. And then in the Big 12, like we were talking about with their game Friday night, you know, when we were talking about them, it kind of made me think about them a little more. Give me Baylor to maybe have a surprise year in the Big 12 and win that and get in.
Oh.
So you are now down to your last two, and then I got one to end us off here.
All right. So do I ruin it? Yes, I'm going to. I'm going to take Boise State.
So you're going for big 2 pointers here.
And I'm also going to take the Liberty Flames.
Liberty Flames. Okay, so you are absolutely going for the Hail Mary here.
Yep.
To win it with the 2 pointers. And I feel like I need to take a group of 5 team here too. Stay in it. My heart tells me to take the Pirates, but if we are really, really, really trying to win this one, I think
just do it. Just do it. You did it for the college. You gotta.
I gotta do it, right?
Yeah, you have to. I mean, what other?
You want to know the only other one? That's what I'm saying. So I can root on the Pirates to make it. But the only other one, because it's not Tulane, it's not UNLV, it's not Toledo. I'm looking at the other ones receiving votes. The other one, actually, that I am going to take,
James Madison.
You talked about him, is James Madison. I will take James Madison as my group of 5 representative here.
And
that's
the
draft.
I have them up here, and I was going to look at either them or Liberty, but I looked at Liberty's schedule. I think it's a little easier. And obviously, September 20th, James Madison plays Liberty at 6:00 in Lynchburg. Is it Lynchburg?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. So
you're right.
So that's why I took Liberty over James Madison.
Okay. That could be by September 20th. That could be a very big game for us. But yeah, that's our drafts. I'll run through them here very quickly. This is something I'll also make an image for us and post it up on our social medias. But for my 12 to make the college football playoff, these are the teams I'm rooting on all year. I have Texas, Clemson, Georgia, Oregon, LSU, Michigan, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Georgia Tech, Baylor, and James Madison. Dad, on the other hand, has Penn State, Ohio State, Notre Dame, South Carolina, Alabama, Iowa State, Arizona State, Florida, Ole Miss, SMU, Boise State, and Liberty. Great draft. This one, this one's going to be fun.
I feel good about my top 4. Definitely, my others.
Well, obviously,
yeah. The middle part, I took some flyers, but I think I'm going to win it by
one of those
grabbing by grabbing both Boise and Liberty. Yeah.
Okay. I really thought that you were going to potentially, instead of like an SMU, go Utah. You were talking about how you like Utah. I thought I could have seen you there.
Yeah. But yet it's the other Wilson. I don't know.
Yeah. Before
and I should have looked if they had enough. I should have looked at their schedule. Now that you bring them up, if they have enough at home at night against teams that are close that they can pull out and win, I would have taken them. I should have looked, yeah, but still, I don't. I mean that conference, I think, unfortunately, is just going to beat up on each other.
Yeah, no, that's very.
And there's not going to be enough value wins.
Before we get on to the Sox, let's just stay on football real quick.
Yeah.
We have the last of our division predictions. As we
wait a minute.
did last year.
Wait a minute. We still have one thing to do with college football.
What's that?
Our Heisman.
Oh, Heisman's. Yes. You got yours?
I got mine. And I led to...
All right, go ahead.
I led to it, obviously, talking about game one, what we could say is the game of the college football
Don't tell me you're taking Arch.
I am taking Arch. I looked. There has not been a Manning to ever win the Heisman. And it's going to be freaky that the older brother, his kid, is going to be the first Manning to do it.
See, I don't agree. I think Arch will have a good year. I don't think he will be Heisman. I don't like it too much. But then you look at the odds, Arch at 700, Cade at plus 900, Garrett at plus 900. I really don't like much of the value that you get out of them too. In my gut, it would tell me Jeremiah Smith at plus 1,200 from Ohio State. However, we don't know what that connection is going to be like with his quarterback yet.
Yeah.
Will Howard could have propelled him into another Heisman candidate year, but we'll see. Dynamic athlete and still going to get his. I just don't know if it's going to be just enough to get him to win a Heisman. I think I'm going to go a little bit deeper here into the odds, get some value on my pick as well. I kind of talked about it when we were talking about their game on Sunday. And I'm going to stick with it. Give me Lenore Sellers out of South Carolina as the Heisman this year. I think they have a good enough year at the absolute floor. I see them going 9-3. I think they are definitely set for a 10-2 year, possibly 11-1. And if they go 11-1, that is definitely because of Lenore Sellers having an absolutely incredible year on the ground and through the air. I think he is the dynamic athlete that you need to look for when trying to correctly predict Heisman winners. And then the only other one that I would think outside of that would be Drew Aller out of Penn State. But I think their game plan throughout the year is going to be a little too much on the ground focused, and it's going to take away some of that spotlight from Drew Aller. I think he'll definitely stay in the conversation for a good bit, but I think Lenoris is going to be your best bet to have that dynamic athletic ability and be able to put up highlight reel plays all year and be that guy that just takes over the media's votes because they just love seeing him play every Saturday.
Good. I mean, obviously, great pick there. I would have thought about the kid too, but I'm just wondering when you look at then the votes, obviously Drew's in the Northeast and will probably get a majority of those while Lenore's here in the South, but yet is there going to be somebody else that will pick up a South vote while Arch is just can cover up all of Texas and all of the West?
Possibly. I mean, you don't know about all of the West. It could be whoever's running for fucking Oregon. I don't know who their quarterback's going to be. But like the same shit happened with Dylan Gabriel last year where he was just kind of dominating dominating the picks in the West there. It's going to be Dante Moore, I think, is freshman or sophomore quarterback for Oregon. We'll see what happens there. But there's also other West Coast teams, maybe UCLA and them.
Yeah,
take a
with
step
Nico. Yeah.
there. And Nico is somebody that's in the conversation. I don't think he's good enough to get the Heisman, but no, I'll stand on Lenore Sellers. I like that.
Good.
All right. So to finish off our football talk for this episode, we have, like I said, our last division predictions, as we did last year, trying to predict all records for all 32 teams. This week, we have the AFC, NFC South, which will lead us into our playoff predictions and everything else, our seeding next week that we'll go over, along with any award predictions and stuff like that we did for MLB, along with a special guest for it. So, Dad, let's start off in the AFC South, and we'll start off with the Houston Texans, just because this is the first one I picked.
10-7.
Yep, that's fair. I have them at 11-6. I have them splitting with Indianapolis. I have them sweeping Tennessee. I have them splitting with Jacksonville. I thought I was going to have them in a really bad spot, or really too good of a spot, but they settled down at the end of the year. Texans 11-6 in the AFC South. Next, let's go on to the Colts.
6-11.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. I have them at 5-12. Don't think the Colts will be too good this year. I think there's going to be a lot of quarterback problems and switching between Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones. A lot of uncertainty there. I have them starting off pretty bad all the way up until their bye. I think I have them at 3-7, then losing 5 straight out of their bye, but ending the year with 2 wins against Jacksonville and Houston. Next one, go on to Jacksonville. I think this is where we differ very much so.
Yeah, I'm high on Jacksonville. I got Trevor in one of my leagues. I'm going again a tie with Houston at 10-7.
Yeah. Let me just preface this by saying I think I fucked the South divisions, guys, because we went through and did all of these divisions, and I put a lot of losses to the South that next year I'm gonna have to figure out. But as of this year, I got to stick with it because we've went through all the other teams and all their other schedules. I have the Jacksonville Jaguars at 5-12 this year. I don't actually know if I believe they will be that bad, but that's how it lines up. I have them starting off 0-7 up until their bye week, winning 2 right out of that against the Raiders, the Texans, losing 2, winning 2, losing 3, beating Tennessee at home in week 18, 5-12 for Jacksonville. And then that brings up Tennessee at the bottom of the AFC South. Dad, what do you have them?
I have Cam doing okay, but not a Jaden Daniels year. I have them at 5-12.
Yeah, this is where I really fucked up, guys. I got the Titans at 2-15. I do think they're going to be horrible. I don't know if they're going to be this bad. But once again, I have already just written off these losses for them on the other team. So only games that I have them winning: at Indianapolis in week 8, and then at home against New Orleans in week 17. I don't think this means Cam has a terrible year. Don't get me wrong. I think Cam Ward still looks good. I think the rest of the team around him is still pretty shitty, though. So I could see them being bad. I don't know if I see him being 2-15 bad, but I'm going to have to stick by it. Tennessee, 2-15. Now let's go over to the NFC South. I'll be honest and say I only have 3 of them because I don't want to have to go through the Saints schedule and just put up a bunch of red. I think I honestly have the Saints at 0-17. And that one I don't feel too bad about. That team's horrible. I could see him going probably as their ceiling at 3-14. But I could see that team being 2-15 or 1-16 or something like that. The Saints are going to be horrible this year. But let's start off with the Atlanta Falcons, which both of us are we're feeling a little down about. I didn't realize how down I'd be about them. What do you have the Falcons finishing off the year at?
I got them 6-11.
Okay. I have them 4-13. With only wins against Tampa Bay in week 1, New England in week 9, Arizona in week 16, and then New Orleans week 18. I do have them getting swept by Carolina. bad year for Atlanta. If you're an Atlanta fan, in my eyes, don't just plan something else on Sundays, honestly. I think we take it in order for this to happen. I think Michael Penix is not the guy. And I think that has to be determined very early on in the season. And I think it could, because I have them winning against Tampa Bay, losing against Minnesota, losing against Carolina, losing against Washington to go into a week 5 bye. And then you've got a little tough stretch against, Buffalo and San Fran. I think that's when we're going to start to have the conversation of, oh shit, is Michael Penix actually this guy? I don't think he is. Atlanta at 4-13 for me. Let's move on to Carolina here. What do you have them?
I have them on an up year, but not to take the division. I have them 9-8.
Okay. I've got them a little better. Like I said, I do have them sweeping Atlanta. I have them splitting with Tampa Bay. I have them. Wait a second. Yeah, I have them sweeping New Orleans. So I have them 5-1 in division, but outside of that, they've just got some games that I already gave up to some other teams. I have Carolina going 7-10, but I think they'd be happy with that season. I think they are competitive even in the games that they lose. I think it is a good step in the right direction for Carolina, for Bryce Young, and it'll lead them into a good year next year where I think they go above 500. Tampa Bay, who I assume is our division winner, both of us.
7.
I have them 12-5. Starting off the year 0-2 actually against Atlanta and Houston, but then rattling off 4 straight wins, losing to Detroit, 3 straight wins after that, losing to the Rams, 3 straight wins after that, losing to Carolina, 2 straight wins after that, 12-5 for the Bucs. I'm very high on them this year. Yeah. I'm high on Baker. I'm high on the addition of Emeka Egbuka. I really like the Bucs this year and think they could be quite a force in the NFC. And then give me what you have on the Saints, and I probably will just end up agreeing with you because it wasn't even worth my time to look at their schedules. Team's terrible.
I had them on the high ceiling part that you give them, which will become Manning 2.0 in New Orleans because they'll have the number 1 draft pick. They're 3-14.
Who do you have them beating?
I did this yesterday, and I think it's a home game in the division with Atlanta, Carolina, and I don't know. I think I had
maybe Tennessee or something like that.
No, I think that I had them beating Cleveland.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I'll stick with that one. I really don't care. I'll look through it after we get off the episode. I guarantee you that I have them at fucking 1-16 or something. But all right. Well, that's it, Dad. We got through all 32 teams. And now we wait to see. I'll have to get up a graphic or something like that, but thank God I got 2 weeks for it. And next week, now that we have all of our teams and our records, we will go through and seed them based off of the schedules and everything. And we'll run through our playoff matchups with the buys and all that and be able to determine our way too early preseason Super Bowl matchups, AFC Championship, NFC Championship matchups, and who we think ultimately takes it home at the end of the year. All right. Last thing then, Dad, let's get to the Sox and let's recap their week. Could have been a better week if we stopped letting the shitter Baltimore Orioles just walk all over us. But it is, they did redeem themselves because they continue to just beat up on the New York Yankees, taking 3 out of 4 once again in this series, already clinching the season series against them. What are we now? 8-2 against the Yankees this year. For everything bad that you could have said about them in the 2 games against the Orioles, it is just completely wiped clean in my mind because all I cared about this week was going 3-1 or better against the Yankees. I know you would have loved to pick up one of those Orioles games or yesterday's game against the Yankees to get the sweep. But this still does leave you a half a game up on the Yankees. You're sitting there at 71-60 with the Yankees at 70-60. And if this is going to be how the Red Sox continue to play the Yankees. Well, then when we see them again in September, September 12th through the 14th, should end off the season series against them pretty well. Give me your thoughts on the Red Sox week. If you're worried at all about the Orioles thing, as we go into a 4-game set against the Orioles starting today, starting Bernardino, apparently. I don't know if this is going to be a bullpen game or something like that. But give me your thoughts on them, and then we'll look ahead to this next week.
Well, 2 thoughts. Obviously, disappointing that this year the Angels and Orioles have our number. I mean, it seems like that in every year. Some team just has your number. I hope at the very least it's a 2-2 week. I hope we don't go 1-3, which I'm kind of almost leaning towards it because it just seems like Baltimore has our number. And yet, obviously, it's a bullpen game today, and then hopefully that means Lucas.
It is. It's Lucas Tuesday, Bayo Wednesday, Crochet Thursday.
Yeah, so I can easily then say 2-2. With a loss tonight, a win, maybe Bayo somehow doesn't have it, and then Crochet finishes with a win. So I'll go 2-2 this week, and then continuing on this 14 games in 14 days, you finish with the Pirates at home, and I will go 2-1. So that's what?
You have them then at 4-3?
4-3, yeah.
Okay. I think the floor in this Baltimore series is 2-2. I think you're saying maybe Bayo doesn't have it. I have no reason to believe that he won't. Bayo has absolutely impressed me over the last couple of weeks, and I'm going to continue to stay with it because him and Crochet have turned into one of the best 1-2 punches in terms of starting pitchers in the league over the last month, honestly, a little bit longer. So I have Bayo and Crochet's games chalked up as a win. But I think you're right. I think we do lose a bullpen game tonight. And I don't know how much I like that because it might affect the bullpen for the rest of the series. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to hope you take one then with Giolito starting. You get 6-7 innings out of him. You don't have to go too deep into the bullpen so that it's well rested for Bayo's game. I'll take 3-1 against the Baltimore Orioles and hope that this is the series we turn it around against them. And then you go, like you said, right back home against Pittsburgh. As of right now, Friday, we have May that will be facing off against Paul Skeens. Pittsburgh, a team that hasn't really been able to get much run support for Skeens when he throws unbelievable gems. But I think, especially after what we saw from May yesterday, he's going to leave him some meatballs. He's going to leave him some easy pitches for Pittsburgh to be able to manufacture some runs and put up just enough run support. This one might be something like a 4-3 game, but I do think Pittsburgh takes the one with Skeens. We've got no projected pitcher for Friday yet. We'll get closer to there Saturday throughout the week and see. Oh, Saturday. Yeah. For Saturday, we have no projected pitcher, but we'll see who ends up slotting in there. But I do think you probably take that one 4-10 in Fenway. And then Sunday, 135 back at home, Giolito. Especially if he happens to lose this game against Baltimore, I think he comes out and absolutely shoves against Keller. But regardless, I'll take Giolito there. We'll go 2-1, 3-1, 5-2 week for the Sox.
All right.
How about Roman Anthony?
How about that bat flip?
How about that bat flip? The bat flip heard all around the rivalry this year. And you know what? Good for him. Mm-hmm. Good for him. I saw something all throughout the week about how it was so funny that Rafael Devers used to be the daddy of the New York Yankees, and then you trade him, the New York Yankee killer, the Yankee slayer is what they like to say, because he would just go into Yankee Stadium and absolutely send bombs into the stands. And the Yankees, once they saw us trade him away, they're probably like, oh, phew, that one's good. Don't have to worry about him anymore. Nope. Here comes Roman Anthony, who's bat flipping on you in his first game in Yankee Stadium, and now you got to deal with him for another 10 years. Good fucking luck, New York. All right, because he's going to turn into a villain there, and I think he's going to love it. And I think it started with that bat flip, and he knows that, hey, we needed a guy to step up to be the guy that the Yankees hate. And that can be me, because I'm going to be here for 10 years, and I'm going to love every single bit of it. I think we see it again in the series that we face them against the 12th through the 14th. But yeah, there's some bat flips you see that you're like, damn, he really nuked that. That was awesome. Yeah, throw the bat. You deserve that. And then there's some bat flips you see that you hit one and it's kind of like a, hey, fuck you. But it feels good. Yeah. But it feels good as a fan to see that. That was one of them that you get some chills. You're like, oh, yeah, he's feeling the energy. And what a way to start off the series and to propel us to 2 more wins in that series. But man, he's incredible. I very easily making his way, if he's not there already, into my top 5 favorite current Boston athletes. I honestly think he's up there. You know, I had this conversation with some guys on Twitter a couple weeks ago. You know, Tatum's my number 1 up there. Then you got probably Drake May, number 2. I got probably Jaylen Brown, number 3. And then I might slot in Roman Anthony at 4 in terms of my favorite, not the best players in Boston, my favorite players right now in Boston. Roman Anthony, number 4. And then at 5, you got a tie between Pasta and Crochet, honestly. But Roman is just doing everything that we had hoped and more. And it is so encouraging to see.
And again, I know we talked about this, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, just the fact that this kid is doing this at age 21 just looks so comfortable. And I had said, you know, that face, and I know obviously Judge and Shohei, but I cannot, if he continues to kill the Yankees like he can, why can't he be the American League face over Judge? You know, Judge, yes, broadcast said best hitter in baseball. 3 over 320 batting average and all those home runs, but still, I think an all-around baseball player, taking walks, can get a good average. I think I would say he's a better defensive player. Yeah, look at Roman Anthony as the face of the American League.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about this, you know, being the face of baseball, let alone the American League. It's going to have to line up when Judge starts to have his decline as the face of the American League. But who else is really in line right there? Being so young and being so good already. Yeah. You know, I think he's got the path for it. I think he carries himself well enough for it. I think he's good enough at baseball for it. And I think he's the more and more that he continues to explode and the more that they get him in front of media to say the right things, I think he's going to be saying all the right things to become the face of the American League too. It might not be for 2 to 3 years, but don't say we didn't warn you when in 3 years we're talking about who's the best player in the AL that's not named Roman Anthony. All right, then. You got anything else before we get on out of here for this episode?
I guess we just got to finish by saying, and we threw it up on social media on Facebook. We hope who is a friend of the podcast and following us on social media. Congrats, Tommy Fleetwood.
Yeah. Congrats, Tommy. First win, finally on the tour. Came at a good one, too. Your FedEx 2025 FedEx Cup champion. And did it just amazingly, honestly. Like we were talking about. Been consistent all year. And to see him finally get that one and the emotion that came out of it as well, with that scream, as he looked at the crowd both ways, you got to feel great for him. Yeah, no, that's awesome to see. That's why we love it. That's why we watch these sports. That's why we love the sports, for moments like that, for the emotion that comes out of it, not only for the players, for the fans. you root for these guys individually in golf, but and you've got your favorites, but it's always a great story. Honestly, anywhere in golf, with any of the majors, I mean, you can go back to when JJ Spawn sunk that 60-footer earlier this year, to when you talk about Tommy winning his first one. I mean, it even feels great when you continue to see Scotty be at the top and win these majors and stuff like that. A very easy sport to root for some of these guys that have been in the game and the longevity that they have. And you continue to build a connection watching them, go in Thursday through Sunday and just try to fight for it. And getting one like this, it's got to feel great for Tommy. So congratulations.
And yes, Tommy, you did well and you won your first, but I cannot see the European team beat us in the Ryder Cup. It is gonna be very exciting. I love watching the Ryder Cup just for the team aspect and just the fans just yelling USA or booing, or even if you're in Europe and the European fans doing what they do. But I do not see Europe able to hold on to retaining. It's coming back home.
Yep. We got about a month before that, and we will definitely preview that and everything. It should be exciting. Should be a really, I don't know, not too much like hate or anything, but they're gonna be chirping. This one, as Bryson has said all throughout the year, is you've heard from a bunch of guys. This one means a lot this year, and I think US will also be taking it home. But all right, well, that is all that we have for this episode. As always, if you would like to keep up with us off the air, make sure to do so on social media at A New Era Podcast on Twitter, at A New Era Podcast on Instagram, A New Era Podcast on Facebook and YouTube. And if you'd like to email us for any questions, concerns, or funny business, anewera.podcast@gmail.com. We appreciate you guys listening into this episode, and we will catch you next week for episode 87.
Love you, son.
Love you, Dad.